If you are constantly hunting for the perfect God prompt to fix your AI outputs, you are looking in the wrong place. Beat. The real bottleneck in your workflow is you.
Yeah. It really is a soul-crushing cycle. Just copy-pasting text into a little box all day. It gets exhausting very quickly.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we are exploring a March 2026 framework by Max Ann. We are looking at how to externalize your memory.
Right. And we are moving way beyond that standard chat window. It requires fundamentally changing your approach to the work itself.
We're going to show you how to bring AI directly to your files. You will build a system that works without you constantly holding its hand.
Which is the dream, right? But let us unpack an uncomfortable truth first.
Beat. We carry so much context inside our own heads, the AI simply cannot see any of it.
Exactly. And when the AI fails, we immediately blame the model. We treat it like a software bug.
But blaming the AI there is completely missing the point.
It really is. I mean, it is like blaming a hammer when you were trying to build a house one nail at a time. The tool is perfectly fine. The method itself is broken.
I have to make a vulnerable admission here. I still wrestle with hoarding context in my head. I get frustrated when the AI misses the mark.
Well, every single person does it initially. It feels safer to control the information directly.
It is a very hard habit to break.
It is. But Max Ann breaks this down into 3 phases of AI maturity. This framework explains exactly why we get stuck.
So phase 1 is where most people start, right?
Right. Phase 1 is the adopt phase. This is your standard manual prompting. You learn the basic tools and experiment a bit.
You apply the AI to small, isolated tasks, like drafting a quick email.
Yeah, or summarizing a short article. But the impact there is strictly limited. Most of the heavy lifting remains entirely manual.
You are still driving every single interaction.
Exactly. We treat the AI exactly like a search engine. But phase 2 is the adapt phase, and this is where the real prize is hidden.
The adapt phase. How does that differ from just adopting the tool?
Instead of simply using the AI, you redesign how the work gets done. You intentionally design workflows for the AI to read.
Oh, I see. So you change your own behavior first.
And that paves the way for phase 3, which is automate. That is where entire workflows run autonomously in the background.
Leaving humans to just focus on high-level direction. But phase 2 feels like the critical leap there.
It absolutely is. The framework provides a brilliant example of this. Think about an executive who records every single meeting.
Okay.
They know their AI assistant will transcribe the audio, so they actively change their behavior in the room.
They alter how they actually speak during the meeting.
Precisely. During the meeting, they repeat key decisions out loud. They speak very clearly before moving to the next topic.
So they aren't doing it for the people in the room. They are doing it strictly for the transcript itself.
Right, because a clearer transcript naturally leads to far better AI summaries. The raw data being fed to the AI is upgraded.
That is fascinating. Are there other practical examples of that?
Yeah, there is another great one in the text. Someone stops saving their project files as PDFs. They switch to saving them as CSV or Markdown files instead.
Let us break down why that actually matters. A multi-column PDF with images is a nightmare for an AI.
Oh, it is terrible. The text extraction gets completely jumbled and confused. It loses the logical reading order entirely.
But Markdown structures data perfectly for language models.
Exactly. It uses clear headers and simple text formatting. These are incredibly small changes to your daily routine, but they compound massively over time.
Every interaction becomes clearer and far more productive.
Yeah.
But moving from phase 1 to phase 2 seems overwhelming.
It can feel that way, yeah.
How does someone force themselves to make this shift when they are already busy?
It really requires adjusting very small daily habits. You do not overhaul your entire workflow overnight. You just make sure the AI can participate from the very start.
So we adapt our habits so the AI can actually read our work.
That is the core philosophy, and it leads us to the very first major shift in this entire framework.
Since we establish we need to adapt our habits, we have to look at how we store context.
Right. The first habit to change is how we hold on to information. We must externalize our memory completely.
We have to stop repeating ourselves every single day.
2-second silence. Think about your brain right now. It is absolutely overflowing with hidden context.
You know, a specific client absolutely hates bullet points.
Yeah. Or, your company pricing changed 3 months ago. Your manager wants reports kept strictly under 1 page.
But the AI does not know any of that. It lives entirely isolated inside your head.
So you start every single conversation from scratch. You re-explain the exact same preferences over and over.
Or you forget, and the AI misses the mark entirely. You are acting as the memory drive for the machine.
Which makes you the ultimate bottleneck in the process.
Well, how do we actually fix this?
The framework introduces 3 distinct layers of memory externalization. Layer 1 is your system instructions.
This is your static memory.
Okay.
Let us define this clearly for everyone.
Sure. Permanent background rules that guide how the AI should always behave.
It helps to think of system instructions as a foundation. It is not just a prompt you type out.
No, it covers your highly stable, unchanging preferences. Your specific brand voice or strict formatting rules go here.
You write it down once, and you never repeat it again. This completely eliminates what we call prompt drift.
Right. Prompt drift is when your outputs slowly degrade over multiple interactions.
Because the system instructions anchor the AI's behavior permanently.
Exactly. And then we move to layer 2. Layer 2 is the knowledge base.
This is also a form of static memory.
It is a dedicated document library the AI can reference anytime.
So this would hold your standard contract templates, or maybe your internal company style guides.
Right. When the AI writes a new project proposal, it pulls from that exact template automatically.
You no longer have to manually attach the same 5 reference files every single time.
But layers 1 and 2 still have a major limitation. They are entirely static.
They only change if you physically go in and manually update them yourself.
Which brings us to the real breakthrough. Layer 3 is where the entire system comes alive.
Upbeat is the dynamic memory layer.
Yes. Layer 3 is memory files. Let us define this one clearly, too.
Text files, the AI updates itself to remember facts across sessions.
Exactly. Tools like Claude Code or OpenAI Codex use this specific layer. They read and write to files like CLAUDE.md or agents.MD.
This is absolutely fascinating to me. We are leaving the browser behind entirely.
Totally. These files live locally right on your own machine. They sit strictly inside your designated project folders.
And they update automatically in the background as the AI works. Mechanically, how is this actually happening?
Well, the AI operates via the command line or an IDE. An IDE is an integrated development environment.
So it is granted directory access to your local files.
Right. And over time, the AI actively learns your nuanced preferences. It logs details about your ongoing projects.
It maps out your unique working style without you typing a single thing.
You stop being the memory bottleneck entirely. But there is a massive caveat we have to mention here. Standard chat apps reset their memory every single session.
Ah, right. The regular ChatGPT browser window will not do this. Gemini in your web browser will not do this either.
No, they will not. You absolutely need specific tools for layer 3 to actually function.
You need a system granted permission to read and write files locally. A simple web chat window is fundamentally incapable of doing this.
Exactly.
But if the AI is autonomously writing its own memory files, I have a probing question here.
Go for it.
What happens if it learns a bad habit or completely misunderstands a core preference?
That is the beauty of keeping these files locally on your machine. You retain absolute full control over the entire system.
So you can easily open those Markdown files in any simple text editor.
It is completely transparent. There is no hidden black box of secret training data.
Just open the text file, delete the bad rule, and the AI forgets it.
It really is that simple. You see exactly what the AI believes to be true about your workflow.
We are going to keep building on this framework. Once your AI has its own memory, we have to look at what it actually works on.
We need to stop acting as a human file router.
But first, a quick word from the folks who help keep this deep dive running. Sponsor. Okay, let us jump right back into Max Ann's framework.
We just established how to externalize your memory. The AI finally remembers exactly how you like to work.
But knowing how you work is only half the battle. The next big bottleneck is routing the actual work itself.
Right. If you are still dragging and dropping 50 files into a browser chat box, you have a problem.
You are functioning as a manual file router. That approach simply does not scale up.
It creates massive friction. You inevitably hit a file upload limit. Then you have to strategically choose what context to remove.
You lose vital information between different chat batches. You just cross your fingers and hope the outputs remain consistent.
It is super frustrating.
I love the vivid analogy the framework uses for this. It is like hiring a brilliant world-class assistant, but forcing them to read documents through a tiny mail slot in the door.
Yeah, you would not lock an MIT graduate in a hallway and slide pages under the door one by one.
But that is exactly what we do with standard web interfaces. We need to let the AI fully into the filing room.
We have to bring the AI directly to the files themselves. You use folder-based project tools for this shift.
Tools like Claude Code or Codex are built specifically for this exact purpose.
You establish a simple project folder right on your desktop. The AI is granted permission to read everything inside that specific folder.
It accesses the data directly, bypassing the clipboard entirely. You aren't copying or pasting a single line of text.
Let us look at a concrete one-off use case to see how this feels. Imagine you create a brand new, simple folder.
Okay.
You drop in 50 raw transcripts from past client meetings. You ask your AI tool to analyze all of them at once.
Whoa! Imagine dropping 50 meeting transcripts into a folder, and the AI maps the entire project instantly.
It extracts the big wins, the losses, and the hidden upsell opportunities, all in one go.
It produces a comprehensive summary, without you managing a single batch of uploads. It just reads the directory, processes the text, and outputs the result.
That is incredibly powerful for a one-off task. But the framework details ongoing use cases that are even more impressive.
Like what?
Think about keeping a dedicated folder for one very important client. After every single weekly meeting, you just drop the new audio transcript directly into that folder.
Oh, and the AI spots the new file and reviews it automatically.
Exactly. It updates the ongoing executive summaries. It identifies new strategic insights based on the historical context.
It tracks complex behavioral patterns across dozens of conversations over a very long period of time.
You just add one single file, and the system handles the rest.
But a folder is just a digital box. What actually makes this automation work without constant supervision?
The secret engine is the instructions file. It sits quietly inside every single project folder you create.
This is that CLAUDE.md or agentsess.md file we mentioned a moment ago.
Right. The AI is programmed to read this file first, every single time it boots up.
A well-structured instructions file requires 3 very specific core elements, right?
Yes. The first element is called what is here.
This acts as a map of the entire folder structure. It shows the AI the subfolders, explains what each file type is for, and outlines the data formats.
The second element is called tasks. This explicitly tells the AI what to do in various different scenarios.
For example, it might say, when a new raw transcript is added, process it immediately. Then, go update the main client summary document with the new findings.
Right. And the third element is the most crucial part of the entire system. It is called the self-update rule.
Beat. This blew my mind when I first read it.
It is brilliant.
Yeah.
If any completely new unmapped files are added to the folder, the AI updates the instructions file to include them.
The instruction file literally maintains itself as the project naturally grows.
The text gives a fantastic example of a YouTube creator utilizing this. They build a master project folder for their entire channel history.
Each time they finish a video, they drop the new script directly into the folder.
And the AI immediately gets to work in the background. It checks the new script against all the previous videos in the archive.
It detects any overlapping topics or repeated talking points.
Right. It updates a master topic index and logs all the metadata automatically.
It formats the descriptions, sets timeline markers, and generates tags without any human intervention.
No complex, expensive automation platform like Zapier is required here. Just a folder, a Markdown instructions file, and an AI tool that can read local directories.
Your personal workflow suddenly scales exponentially without you acting as the manual middleman.
It changes absolutely everything about how you manage large amounts of complex data.
I do have a practical question about this, though. How does the AI not get hopelessly confused when completely new, totally unmapped files are randomly dumped into the folder?
Well, that is exactly what that self-update rule is designed for. The AI automatically updates its own master instructions file to properly categorize those brand new additions.
A self-updating master checklist tells the AI exactly how to handle new files.
Precisely. It becomes a completely self-sustaining organizational system.
2-second silence. So the AI now has its own dynamic memory. It has direct, frictionless access to your project files.
But there is a third, final shift required to make this truly autonomous.
Because if you still have to manually proofread every single summary it generates, you haven't really solved the problem.
Exactly. You are still the ultimate bottleneck.
You have just transitioned into being a human checkbox. And a human checkbox can and should be removed from the routine process entirely.
Right. We usually review outputs to decide if they're actually good enough to send.
For deep, judgment-heavy strategic work, that human review still really matters.
Yeah, absolutely. But for routine, standardized tasks, it is a massive waste of your time. Weekly summaries, standard proposals, or structured status updates do not need heavy human review.
That review step just adds time without adding any real tangible value to the final product.
So the third major shift is to strictly externalize your standards.
You have to define what good actually means. And you have to define it in strictly binary terms.
Vague, subjective standards are the absolute enemy here. Asking the AI, does this sound professional, is completely useless.
It is entirely subjective. You need rigid criteria with perfectly clear yes or no answers.
Let us use executive meeting summaries as our practical example here.
You know, a truly good summary always follows very specific structural rules, but you usually just feel it intuitively.
You need to write those rules down.
Yeah.
Rule 1, does the summary open with a direct reference to the previous meeting? Yes or no?
Rule 2, is the entire document strictly under 200 words total? Yes or no?
Rule 3, is there a clear bolded deadline next to every single action item? Yes or no?
Rule 4, does each paragraph lead with the main key point? Yes or no?
Those are 4 very clear, highly binary criteria. Once the rules are mathematically clear, the AI drafts the initial summary.
Then it tests its own draft against that exact checklist.
It identifies exactly what failed, fixes the errors, and tests the document again.
It does all of this internal looping before you ever even see the file.
It is the fundamental difference between an AI that simply drafts and an AI that actually finishes the job.
It drafts, checks, revises, and delivers a fully completed product.
But most people will get stuck right here. It is a very common friction point. They know good work when they see it.
But they cannot explicitly explain why it is good. How do you build a strict binary checklist if you don't even know your own internal rules?
There is a brilliant, highly practical workaround for this exact problem. Step 1 is to collect 5 to 10 examples of genuinely good past outputs.
You grab your best proposals, your cleanest reports, or your most effective emails, whatever you specifically need the AI to replicate.
Step 2, you feed those perfect examples directly to the AI. You ask it to reverse engineer a binary checklist based solely on those good examples.
You are asking the machine to figure out what makes your work good.
Right, and then step 3, you review that generated checklist carefully. You adjust or delete anything that doesn't actually matter to the final product.
Then, you paste that refined checklist directly into your permanent system instructions.
And step 4 is the most crucial prompt addition of all. You explicitly tell the AI to run an internal evaluation loop.
It must draft the document, self-evaluate against the binary checklist, revise the text, and evaluate again.
It runs this tight loop repeatedly until it clears the checklist completely.
It only delivers the final result to your desktop after it passes every single criterion.
It forces the AI to be its own strict quality assurance manager.
Wait. I have to push back a little here. If you are listening to this and thinking, I do not even trust my AI to write a 2-sentence email without hallucinating, I get it.
Sure.
Are we really supposed to just blindly trust that the AI graded its own homework correctly?
Not blindly, no. That would be incredibly reckless. The entire goal of this framework is earn trust.
You still review the outputs heavily at the very start of the process.
You are auditing the system's internal logic. You step back only when the system definitively proves its consistency based on hard historical evidence.
You let it earn its autonomy.
Exactly.
We verify early on so we can step back and trust the automated results.
That is the ultimate goal. You are trying to stop wasting your limited attention on routine mechanical checks. You want to spend your human judgment where it actually matters.
2-second silence. Let us synthesize this entire journey. We have covered a lot of deep technical ground today.
The overarching theme of Max Ann's framework is very clear. The real magic isn't in finding some secret, perfectly phrased prompt.
The magic is in building an architectural system that compounds over time.
It all starts with a memory layer that actually learns and updates itself dynamically.
Then you add dedicated file folders that the AI can access directly. You remove the manual copy pasting and file routing entirely from your day.
Finally, you establish strict binary quality standards. This allows the AI to check its own routine work through an autonomous internal loop.
Each individual shift strengthens the others. Stronger memory improves how your local files are handled.
Better file handling creates much richer context for the evaluation loop. And better evaluation naturally leads to vastly cleaner outputs.
You get significantly better results next week without adding a single ounce of extra effort. The system itself is just quietly getting smarter in the background.
We really encourage you to just pick one of these 3 shifts to implement today. Do not try to boil the ocean and do it all at once.
Start by externalizing your memory. The rest of the system will naturally build from there.
It really is about escaping that little browser chat box. You are building a permanent, compounding workflow that lives on your own machine.
You are intentionally removing yourself as the central bottleneck. The system carries the heavy workload and keeps things constantly moving forward.
Right.
I want to leave you with a thought to mull over. If your AI system can now learn your highly nuanced preferences, if it can route your complex files effortlessly, if it can grade its own routine work reliably, what high-level, deeply human problems are you now freed up to actually solve?
That is the real question we all need to answer.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time.